We see all the time that coffee is good for fat loss, and that's pretty much common knowledge these days. But there's an interesting perk to watching this video and clicking here, because there's some newer science that helps us understand that coffee isn't just stimulating what's called lipolysis, it's actually triggering more fatty acid turnover. Now, what exactly does this mean? Well, in essence, it means you can burn more fat. We just have to learn how to utilize it properly. So I'm going to share that with you in this video. But up until recently, we thought that coffee would just stimulate what's called lipolysis, where you're taking fat that's in its storage form in the body and turning it into fatty acids into the bloodstream. But that's about it. It would turn into this pointless loop where you liberate fats and then you just restore them. Liberate fats and then just restore them. You don't actually burn them unless you do something with the fats that are liberated. So up until recently, we thought, oh, I gotta drink coffee and then I gotta go run because I gotta liberate those fats and then I gotta use them. Well, there's more to it than just that.
And after today's video, I put a link down below for some stick packs. Actually, you know the company, it's called Create, but that is a 50% off, like legit 50% off creatine stick packs. They're 5-gram stick packs and they're sweetened with monk fruit, entirely fasting friendly, so you can have them during a fast. I promise you they will keep your appetite at bay, but they'll keep your energy high. So if I'm fasting a lot, my calories are low, 10 to 15 grams of creatine throughout the day. I spread it evenly in like little water bottle sips throughout the day. I just sip on it.
So back to the coffee here. So yeah, we know, okay, we drink coffee, it stimulates lipolysis, but there was a study that was published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition that set out to find if coffee actually burns fat too. So they measured lipids 90 minutes before a cup of coffee, then 240 minutes after having a cup of coffee. The results were really interesting. They found that lipid levels increased by 2x after coffee. Okay, they also found that the thermic effect increased 13% after coffee, but this isn't the good stuff. So basically we did find that coffee increased a thermic effect. So there was, let alone like anything else, there was still a metabolic like thermic increase. But when you break it down, that 13% increase is a 13% increase of the already existing thermic increase. So it's negligible. What they found that was really interesting is that 24% of the fats were oxidized and 76% of them were recycled. Now, at first glance, this doesn't sound that fascinating. Okay, 76% of the fats that were liberated when drinking coffee were recycled right back into our fat tissue. Well, it's pretty awesome because we used to think that was 100%. So 24% of those fats are actually just getting oxidized, doing nothing. You could drink a cup of coffee and just go about your daily life, even without additional exercise, and you're oxidizing more fat. But when you actually do a statistical analysis of this, you see proportionally the fatty acid increase in terms of oxidation was a total of 44%. So from baseline, there was a 44% increase in fatty acid oxidation when you drink a cup of coffee. Now they did something very interesting with this. They gave subjects beta blockers to block the beta adrenergic receptor, and they found that this negated the effects of the fat loss. So what we are seeing here is that coffee, via this adrenergic pathway, like through adrenaline and catecholamines, that's how it's driving up fat loss. So how can you get more out of this? Well, one way is to have black coffee without cream, without sugar, without anything added to it, and having it on a totally empty stomach, and then waiting a little while before you have food. Now, if you look at the stuff that like Dr. Andrew Huberman talks about that's become somewhat mainstream now, it's really a good idea to wake up in the morning, wait about 30 minutes, and then have your coffee. And the reason you want to do that is because you don't want to like double up adrenaline and cortisol spikes from coffee on top of your naturally occurring adrenaline and cortisol spikes from waking. You let that level come down and then you have caffeine. But you also get a double whammy on the fat loss effect. When you wake up in the morning and you have this adrenaline cortisol spike naturally, that's actually encouraging fat loss. So you don't want to eat and disrupt that. You want to get up, you want to have nothing in your stomach, and you want to let your body do its thing. Then 30 minutes into your waking hours, you want to have that coffee. Black coffee, nothing added to it. You're going to get that lipid turnover. We now know it doesn't just stimulate lipolysis. You don't have to go for a walk. You can just drink that coffee. If you want extra benefit, drink that coffee, go sit in a sauna where you can have a 20% metabolic increase, or go for a walk. But most importantly, after you have that coffee, try to wait a good hour before having a meal, because otherwise you're standing in the way of this lipid turnover. Your coffee isn't just stimulating lipolysis, it's stimulating fatty acid oxidation. And the moment that you put food in front of that, protein or carbs, it's going to slow that process down. So wake up, 30 minutes, black coffee, wait another 30 to 60 minutes, and then eat. And in that 30 to 60 minute period between coffee and food, that's the ideal time to go do some cardio or go sit in a sauna to get more metabolic effect. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. See you tomorrow.